News 46 is brought to you by Dennis Hoff for Assembly District 36, a successful businessman who can't be bought, can't be intimidated, and won't sell you out. Paid for by friends of Dennis Hoff.
Welcome back. Caesars Entertainment joined other major motel companies that are modifying their room check policies by instituting a new protocol that requires every occupied room be checked at least once every 24 hours. Caesars says historically there have been tags that have said do not disturb. They are eliminating them and instead will read room occupied. Housekeeping staff will not enter the rooms when there is a room occupied indication, but security will knock on the door once a day and say, "Can I do a visual inspection of the room?" Housekeepers will maintain a roster of the rooms where the room occupied signs are displayed and present that is provided to security personnel, who at some point in the day would knock on the door and request to conduct a visual inspection of the room. If something is amiss, security staff will implement a protocol to alert supervisors and managers to determine how to best handle the specific situation. This has been put in place for the safety and security of hotel guests.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has, for the first time, approved a blood test to help detect concussion in adults. The Brain Trauma Indicator test measures two biomarkers, which are proteins that are released upon injury to the brain and pass through the blood-brain barrier. Elevated levels of the proteins can be detected within 15 or 20 minutes of injury. The test can be taken within 12 hours of injury, and results can be obtained within 3 or 4 hours. Patients are currently diagnosed with concussion based on a combination of symptoms as well as imaging. However, CT scans don't always detect concussion.
Well, here's Mike Colucci with some tips on buying a home.
Home Matters is brought to you by Trish Rippey Realty, 775-727-4343.
Hi folks, I'm Mike Colucci, and this is your Pahrump Home Matters real estate segment. 2 weeks ago, I focused on the first things to do if you'd like to list and sell your home. Then last week, we talked about where to start if you'd like to purchase a home. Today, I'd like to discuss the process of making an offer on a property that you'd like to purchase. Making an offer is something made a whole lot simpler if you're working with a real estate professional. So you found the home you'd like to buy. It's time to make an offer. If you're offering cash with no financing, most sellers would like, along with your offer, proof of funds. Something along the lines of a bank statement to show the seller, if they accept your offer, that you do have the money to pay for the property. If you'll be financing, which is the case in the majority of home sales, you'll want to provide the pre-approval or pre-qualification letter from a bona fide lending institution. Again, to show the seller that you'll be able to live up to the offer that you'll be presenting. Your real estate professional will have a number of documents for you to review and sign prior to putting together your offer, many that are required prior to entering into a real estate transaction. Once those documents are explained and signed, it's time to make your offer. Your real estate professional will draw up a residential purchase agreement. They should walk you through the agreement section by section so you understand what you're offering in addition to the sales price. Many things in the purchase agreement are negotiable. For instance, who will pay for certain fees, closing dates, even the title company you'll be using. When the seller receives your offer, they will have 3 options. Number 1, to accept your offer as written. Number 2, to reject your offer. And number 3, to counter the offer that you've presented. If the offer is accepted, you're on your way to home ownership. If the offer is rejected, you may want to inquire as to why. And if your offer is countered, now you have the ability to accept, reject, or recounter. Remember that a seller or a buyer can counter a multitude of things that have nothing to do with the selling price of the property. Take the time to review any and all provisions in your offer and the counteroffer to make sure you're in agreement. This is called negotiating. Once you and the seller are in agreement and the offer and counteroffer are agreed upon, both parties have signed the documents, you have what's called a fully executed contract. We'll discuss the next step in a future segment. This has been your Pahrump Home Matters real estate segment. I'm Mike Colucci, and if you have any other real estate related questions, please call me at 775-764-8800. 8211.
News 46 Weather Cam is brought to you by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, let's take a look outside at our Glenn Lerner Weather Cam. Heather's here in our studio, and she'll be giving us the down low. We'll be right back.